Okay, now back to what we were saying. I was Robot Jocks, Oblivion, Arena. I'm the resident sci-fi geek of the team, but those caught my attention. Subspecies was great. Of course, the Puppet Master series, which I think had some of the most interesting scenes of the whole series. So that's where I cut my teeth with Full Moon.
Right.
And it's one of those things that keeps, no matter how many times you see it, you want to go back and watch it again because it is a fun movie.
Well, thank you. No, the whole intent was to sort of make, sort of like a Marvel Comics vibe. They're not hardcore torture horror films. They never have been. And I mean, they freak some people out. Some people are really scared of little inanimate objects coming to life. I've run into those fans. But generally speaking, they are more fantasy than horror. And the films that I enjoy watching too, those kind of films, because I watched a lot of films in the 50s, 60s. I mean, I wasn't around really in the 50s, but there was a sort of an innocent fun. The sci-fi films, especially if you're a sci-fi fan. So that was sort of the vibe that I wanted to have Full Moon, have.
Okay, I have another question for you, real quick. In the Puppet Master series, you actually killed off one of the puppets. Did you get a fan reaction from that? I mean, normally people, when the bad guys get killed, are like, "Yay!" But I don't know.
It's a little different in horror.
It's a little different in horror, but
you get a lot of the people cheering for the bad guy.
The puppet.
That's true.
Going to the step of actually killing off one of the puppets. I mean, how did you come to that?
Well, sometimes you do things for absolutely all the wrong reasons. At the time, we were distributed by Paramount. And are you talking about Leech Woman?
Yes.
Yeah. And they did not like Leech Woman for whatever reason. Maybe because most of the people running the show at the time were women. And but of course, Leech Woman comes back. She'll come back. We can do this in horror films. You can bring back anyone you want. But they actually said, look, that's really extra gross. We're getting some weird mayo. You've got such a cool franchise. Why don't we find a way in Puppet Master 2 or 3 to kill Leech Woman? I thought, all right, And there was a reaction, but again, this is back before the internet was really happening. So, you got snail mail. I mean, some people called, but it wasn't like today where, anybody, who's tuned in can write you a quick email or say, hey, you're like really stupid for killing Leech Woman.
As far as, the Puppet Master has come back here recently with Axis of Evil. I think it was released in June.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any fan responses about,
Yeah, a lot of it. You can't please everyone. There's always someone says, "Hey, it sucks," and you needed more puppet kills and more blood, and that's probably true. I'm sorry, just leave it there. But what I tried to do is make a sort of a film that would feel like we made it in the '90s. Something really retro. No CGI, none of the tricks that are cheap and easy. So everything was done on set. It's all real live and organic, and all the puppets were really there. We didn't phone them in. And so the whole approach was sort of old school. Now, again, that's not going to please everyone, but generally speaking, we got good reaction. And I'd love to do more. I mean, budget really kills you because, my favorite scene is, for those who've not seen it, I'm sorry, but there's a great scene where Leech Woman coughs up a leech and lands in some sushi, and this dude eats it and gags, and his throat explodes with blood. And I would have loved to have 8 scenes like that. I mean, that was a cool scene and kind of memorable. But there's always so much you can afford in terms of time. And we flew everyone to China, so it's not like we shot it in our own backyard. And we did that to get a lot of production value. We built all those sets, the costumes. It takes place during World War II. So we needed sort of a rich canvas, and we couldn't afford it with the dollars we had in LA. It'd be too expensive. But even in China, you can only shoot so many days, and have 10, 12 people that you've flown over there and you're putting up at a hotel. So, a lot of what we would like to do and do more of is just not able to happen sometimes because of money, But I'm happy with the film.
And Killjoy 3 was also filmed in that.
And that's out basically now. We literally are shipping some early DVDs, and turned out really well. It's another bizarre film and a bit of a departure from the first 2 Killjoys. But yeah, we shot both in China, and we're hoping to shoot some more next year.
What do we have in the Full Moon future?
Wow. Well, without going too far in the future, I'm going to be shooting Evil Bong 3, The Wrath of Bong, and I'm shooting that in 3D. And I'm also shooting it tied into what I'm calling Sniff-O-Rama, which is the earlier version was Smell-O-Vision. So basically, when you will watch this movie, and we're trying to do a small theatrical release, at time for 04/20, for those of you who know that date, of 2011, you'll not only have your 3D glasses, but you'll scratch and sniff at certain moments in the movie and smell stuff, which I can't reveal what you'll smell, but you can guess. So Evil Bong 3, Wrath of Bong. And what's cool about that is I had asked the fans some months ago to come up with ideas for Evil Bong 3, you know, where to take those characters. And we had hundreds of submissions, and we culled it down to what we felt were the top 20 best ones. You know, we had like Evil Bong versus you know, the Killer Crack Pipe. I mean, there were crazy titles submitted. And then we took those top 20 and we put it out again to the fans to have a vote as to which one would be, you know, the number one, most votes, which would pretty much mean that's the one we're going to make. And the one that was voted as the best title or subtitle was The Wrath of Bong. So, and then the fellow who won the contest and who came up with that idea, he wrote a short paragraph, and pretty much from that paragraph or plot line, we've expanded it. We now have a very funny script. So anyway, Evil Bong is happening. I have a really weird movie populated only by dwarfs, and I love working with dwarfs, called Unlucky Charms. I'm doing that after Evil Bong 3. There's a few. There's a title that I can't reveal because I'm afraid of getting ripped off, but it's a really good one. It's I've never really made a Living Dead movie. I mean, I kind of had zombie movie. I did a picture called The Dead Hate the Living. And there's a few in my hundreds of movies, but this one's going to be really fun, really dead on, and it combines the things I love the most: weird, dead, awful things, and hot chicks. You know, it's that combination, but it's a different take on that. So that picture is going to be, I think, a lot of fun. I mean, hopefully we'll do 6 movies in the next 12 months. That's my plan.
Are we going to see any returns of other franchises like Decadent Evil or possibly another subspecies?
Well, we are definitely going to make another Trancers. We have a wonderful storyline. Thomerson is on board. It's called Death in Shanghai, and Death as in D-E-T-H, Jack Death. And hopefully we'll be able to do that one next year. And we have a great script for Subspecies. It's just very ambitious, very expensive. So we'll have to make some money somewhere. Maybe Evil Bong 3 will help us out, because it's not a easy movie to make. We need to go back to Romania. We need, you know, it's the 1,000-year history of Radu from before he became a vampire. So you have, you know, castles and horses and all the stuff that is fun to watch and very expensive. But we'll definitely make another Subspecies, and we're looking forward to that.
The one thing that I always found fascinating with Full Moon Entertainment in general is, just get off subject here, is the actors and actresses that have gotten into these movies. I mean, you look at Trancers and you have Helen Hunt. I think you had Demi Moore at one point in time, and it's just, it baffles me. You know, I did an article about you know, horror's first starts, and then there's a lot of them that are Full Moon Entertainment,
right,
so you know that they get their first start at. Do you find a lot of those actors and actresses coming back to Full Moon, or
none?
They're like, no.
Well, there's one exception, Helen, who remains a good friend. She had already blasted off with the TV show Mad About You after we had done Trancers 2. And I directed the first 2, and we really wanted her back for 3, but she was making tons of dough. And I said, Helen, look, it's not a big, you know, commitment. It's a couple days' work. And halfway through the 7th, she said, Charlie, you know, I practically got my start with you. I'm there. Don't worry. And she came back and worked for Scale. So to her credit, you know, she's that's pretty awesome. But no, I mean, people. I mean, I worked with Viggo Mortensen. I killed Sam Raimi in a movie. I mean, these are people now who have huge careers, and I mean, there's no reason for them to come back and be in a small movie. But there is something great about discovering talent, because there's a lot of talent out there. And you have to have an eye for it. But I've worked with, I don't know, probably 100 people in front of the camera and behind the camera who've gone on to become very successful. And there are hundreds more out there, you know. You just got to catch the right one.
Well, it's been great getting a chance
to
talk.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to doing your show tonight.
Yeah, you're going to be broadcasting with us from the show, so.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that. Very good.
If you want to, of course.
Yeah,
I'm going to introduce you. We got people lining you up, warming the audience up for you tonight. Tonight's going to be a great show here at the Sci-Fi Horror Weekend 2.
We'll have the zombie PSA.
We'll have the zombie PSA. If you want to see, I won't say a good movie, but I'll say a fun movie.
It is a great movie. We're in it. We have to be that way, man.
Well, you at least don't lose your head multiple times.
No, I die because I'm Joey Burrito.
Joey Burrito. Okay. All right.
We'll tell you that story here in a minute.
Okay.
But once again, this is Fearcast, and with the wonderful Charles Band. Thank you so very
Hey,
much.
well, thanks for having me. You guys are awesome. This is a huge production, by the way. There are 3 cameras, lights. There's a crew of 40 out there.
No, that's
That's what I say anyway.
Yeah, we'll add this onto the video.
Okay.
We're going to come in and we're going
Yeah.
to.
See, just in case you guys are wondering, this is the crew. Now, see, it's a 3-camera shoot, but I'm holding one of the cameras. It's
now
awesome.
Fearcast now brought to you and Bandovision.
Well, actually, we keep swearing we're going to do it 3D.
Okay. Well, you'll get there. 3D though. Next year there'll be all sorts of stuff out in 3D.
Thank you, Charles.
Hey, you're welcome, dude. Thank you, guys.